Okay, in this video, I'm going to be demonstrating the finance module. This is the section where employee salary information is put in. And as you know, this is required in order to calculate your school claim. So the only person who has access to this module would be the school principal or anyone who has been granted the finance credentials. And that would have to go through our office. So if anyone needs to get in there and they don't have the credentials, they would have to contact us. Okay, this is the junction page. I'm going to go ahead and click on Finance Module, and you arrive on a welcome screen here. You can read this information, just some general information. Notice we have a frequently asked question page. You might want to take a look at that. There are some common questions that come up, so that we try to provide that information right there. Notice there are tabs at the top, and you're just going to go down the line, work one at a time. Just supply the information as it prompts you. It's pretty straightforward. The first page here is, who is part-time, so I could just indicate an employee that is part-time. Now, that's not hard-coded to a number of hours for our purposes. It's just, do you consider the employee part-time? It just helps parse that information. Okay, so part-time employees. Then we would go to hours per day. You'll get it on this page and you'll notice that numbers have been supplied. So it will either be 7 or 7.5 hours per day, something like that as a default value. But you can, of course, change it as you need for your school. So let's see here. Our demo employee is part-time. I'm going to go ahead and mark 3 hours on a Monday, nothing on Tuesday, 3, and then 0 and 3. So just by typing the numbers, it saves automatically. And now we know that this employee works 3 hours on Monday and 0 hours on Tuesday. Now notice down here at the bottom, we have an autofill. This is very important, especially if your school has a large number of employees. You can change all the records at one time. That's really useful. So I would type in, say, a 7, click fill, and it updates all of the records. So that is a quick way to modify the records. Okay, so I went ahead and changed this back to a 3. All right, that's your work schedule, your hours per day. And then we asked for how many weeks per year do employees generally work. So by default, we put in 37, which translates to 185 days. So you can use your best judgment on this. I wouldn't go too far from 37. Typically, it would be maybe 39, 40, 41, right in that range of a number of weeks per year. And then we can review the number of hours. So we take all of that information that you just supplied, we look at the work schedule, how many hours per week, how many weeks per year, and ultimately how many hours per year. So that's all part of the calculation process. Okay, then we type in our salaries. You just go down the line and type in individual salary information. This might take a little bit longer since everyone has their own individualized salary, but nonetheless, it just has to be put in one time per year. Now, if you have a part-time employee and they're paid, say, by the hour, you can click paid by the hour and put in the wage per hour, like 17 or something, and then it calculates the total annual pay based on that figure. Okay, salary information. Next page is medical. So we're just looking for the total cost to the school for all of your medical expenses, dental and vision. And this would be just the cost to the school. So if your employees contribute to the medical coverage, you would subtract that. So we're looking for the cost to the school. And again, that autofill might be useful here. You can change all at once and then modify individually. Okay, we have FICA here. This is your extra items, Social Security and Medicare. These are entered as percentages. So you'll notice 7.65 is by default in there because that's pretty much the national standard. Workers' comp would be individual to your school on a state level. You typically around, maybe 0.5%. So you would type in like 0.5. Generally, these numbers are small, less than 1%. So you just can type them in as needed as percentages. Do not use decimal equivalents. So if it's 5%, you would type in a 5. Okay, and then if you don't know, just leave it blank. These ultimately do not They don't impact your claim too much. They help, but if you don't have the information and you're uncertain about it, it's safe to leave it off and there will be no penalty for that. Okay, then finally we have an other column here. So anything that doesn't fit comfortably in any of the other entry points, you can just type it in here as an annual blank amount or set amount. So let's say this person makes an extra $2,500 per year for tutoring or something, then you can just type that in as an annual dollar amount. So that's your other column. And then finally, there's a review page here so you can look at all of your entries and kind of one big summary. And ultimately, you're looking for the wage per hour. So this is how we derive the claim using this final determination wage per hour.